Welcome back to DM-Nastics, the gym for dungeon masters to work out their minds. I'm one of your hosts, DM Neal, aka Joke Maniac.
And I'm your other host, DM Celeste.
And today, we're going to tie back to episode number 161, Why So Evil, which featured Chris Pronosky. A guy who did a little bit of work on small shows like Metalocalypse and Venture Brothers and, stuff you probably have totally heard of.
Yeah, tiny shows, real tiny.
But that inspired Rorik and I to make 2 forum posts, but we're only going to talk about one. And that's DM-Nastics number 133, Part A, Meet Some Evil. Part 2, or Part B, it would have been way funnier had I named it Part 2, was Wield Some Evil, which kind of got back into a little bit of the intelligent items and going kind of the cursed route. But since we had talked about that recently, we thought we would focus all our energy on meeting some evil people.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the questions we asked. So for this one, essentially the goal was to brainstorm some of the evil NPCs that players might have to work with in the world of DM or in an evil campaign, or even in a good one. You always need a good evil NPC. So for the brainstorm questions, we came up with the following. 1, what is the NPC's name? 2, what organization are they connected to? 3, what is their role in the organization? 4, what is the cost of doing business with this evil entity? 5, what are the consequences of crossing them? 6, anything else at all.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The greatest of all.
The summation of all questions.
Yes. So, the question that I have for you, which one did you choose from the forums?
Yes, so I chose, just since this really tickled my fancy, was from DM Danielson. Number 1, what is the NPC's name? Vince the Slothfolk. So already we're here and we love it, obviously, Slothfolk. What organization are they connected to? Diembe Magical Vanguard, aka the DMV. And what is their role? So essentially the DMV is responsible for licensing all magic items in the world, and Vince the Slothfolk works at the DMV. So this is just so
it's
funny.
so good. I also like that they're I don't know if they're inherently evil or just everyone thinks they're evil.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so essentially the cost of working with Vince at the DMV is time and sanity. You have to catch him at specific hours. You have to renew your licenses for your magic items. Otherwise, the DMV will confiscate them from you.
What?
So there's an initial test to use your items, like all these things. So it's just a bureaucratic setup for in your games as to why this organization basically influences your characters and something you have to go through to maintain and keep your magic items, which I thought was a really cool idea and would definitely drive me crazy if that was in a game. So the perfect subtle evil NPC there.
Oh, that's so good. Gotta go get a smog check on my wand of fireballs.
Yes, and I love this. Vince is an aspiring time mage and practices this often. So just the idea of having also a slothfolk is already incredible. And then having this slow-moving person that you have to deal with is just an incredible idea. So well done, DM Danielson.
Yes, very, very well done.
Magic DMV. Oh, I love it.
And there's, the limitless potential with the pain and suffering that we have all felt while at the real DMV.
At the real DMV. Bring that into your games. Make it fantastical.
Yes. So, speaking of fantastical, I am going to highlight the post from DM Laser because it immediately made me think of Dodgeball, one of my favorite movies of all time. Blade, laser, blazer.
Yes.
So, with that out of the way, they gave us Bromwood the Mad Paladin, where essentially it's the troubled past and present and probably future of a paladin devoted to Pelor. But they were trying to rout out this cult of Nerul, and essentially the cult of Nerul twisted what they thought they were doing and convinced the paladin basically that Pelor was behind it the whole time. And now they're essentially seeking out their own order like under the delusions that they are doing the right thing.
Oh, no.
And they're also very, very, very aggressive in terms of their helping and doing the right thing. Like, if you're suffering, they may just choose to put you out of that suffering because you're no longer suffering. But in their like initial presentation, like they seem totally fine, like a normal, an air quote, normal person. But then when push comes to shove, they're shoving off cliffs rather than just shoving. And so a very, very rich story with this troubled background, and it kind of gives the players, that moral decision rather than just putting the person down necessarily. Like, how do we help this person get back to where they used to be?
Yeah. I mean, I always love in my games bringing in like lawful good or even lawful evil. There's such a fine line in between what that means. It's like having somebody who truly does believe that this must be done for the greater good. There's no questions asked is always such a hard road to navigate and creates a lot of interesting RPG scenarios when you're like, well, what do we do with this person? They do believe they are doing the right thing. Yes, but the methods, is it worth it? So that's always just a great bunch of potential to throw into your games.
Yes. So haunt your players with the DMV and Bromwood, the Mad Paladin. Yes. But with those out of the way, that means it's time to lift the mental weights right now.
Ooh.
Lifting weights is what I do. Look at me. Lift these weights.
Okay. So how do we want to do it? I've got a couple ideas.
Throw them out. Throw one out. Let's see where it goes.
By the power of the internet.
Are you doing a name search?
Heck yes.
Yeah, I mean, I always love the idea of putting innocuously evil people into games. So people that lure in the characters with trust and they just seem like upstanding citizens or whatever. And then the evil slowly comes out over time until it's a big, big old situation.
I like it. Well, and so the other thing was, part of the question was to also build something that people could use in an evil campaign. Sure. I think for me, I want to put an evil vendor on the streets of Lucina Tyrion. Again, like kind of fleshed out big city in the world of Deimbe. But then I'm trying to think of what would they sell that the players would absolutely need. So it's this back and forth, they have to interact with them.
Yeah, because I immediately think of black market items, but why would characters need body parts or organs?
Ooh.
That's immediately what I went to, because evil. But also,
So I did use the power of the internet. So we will call them Vale Wolf Moon.
Whoa, I love it.
And then that kind of lends me towards somewhat of an evil druid, because my thought was, what if they're having to get some sort of drug-like supply from this person? Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking of crazy mushrooms or herbs and different things like that. And so then the players are constantly forced to work with Vale Wolf Moon to be able to get this supply to then be able to put it out on the streets.
Mm-hmm. Or also maybe this person, they peddle healing potions and stuff like that, but they always have some kind of cost or twist. So maybe they do become addictive or, they're healing potions, so they get that done. But the cost is you become highly addicted to it and need to buy and use these healing potions specifically. Or maybe they have some kind of effect, after 8 hours, you get a level of exhaustion after using it or something like that.
Yeah. Oh. And I also, I feel like we've talked about it somewhere else recently, but I love the idea of Vale also being extremely fickle on pricing.
Yes.
Oh, we were talking about
depending on the mood.
Yep. With the bag of bartering.
Oh, yes, the intelligent bag of holding.
Yes. Now we have personified them into Vale Wolf Moon.
Mm-hmm. What are the consequences of crossing Vale Moon?
Ooh.
We have to decide.
You know what? I think I also like that fickle nature, and also being the druid, they just won't come back.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I don't care. Whatever. And I can go sell it to somebody else or just not come back and just live in the woods for the next 3 weeks. That's not my problem.
Yeah, I want to be a wolf for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah,
so
whatevs.
Or they're really difficult to find. Their schedule is very strange. Uh,
Oh, I like that too.
yeah. So you have to meet them in like this specific glade, like on the second Tuesday of like high moon or something.
Oh, it's having to do like this very elaborate like astrology and like lunar cycles and things like that to find out where they would be. Oh,
Or they leave like strange nature clues with druid craft to like their next location.
yes. Well, they don't want to get caught, man.
They don't. No, they're selling the good stuff.
Yep.
I love that. Okay, next one. Let's see. I've always liked the idea of a really evil bard being in a game, and I'm not sure how exactly that would work, like what the motivation would be. Why would a bard be evil?
Okay, so this would be tapping into things I'm currently watching, which, I mean, if you're not using that as a DM skill, get on it.
Do it. It's just free ideas.
My initial thought, because I'm actually rewatching all the Marvel Netflix series before season 2 of Punisher comes out. Right now I'm watching Jessica Jones, and when you said evil bard, it immediately made me think of Kilgrave.
Yeah, that's David Tennant's character, right?
Yep. And just like using their bardic power and their bardic knowledge and just all of that to basically coerce everyone into doing whatever they want.
Yeah, absolutely. So this person has like climbed up from nothing and then used their power to just manipulate and control everyone into accomplishing their own goals, life of luxury. They probably created fake titles for themselves, roll into town and swindle everybody.
Ooh.
Okay, so what would their name be?
Okay, I mean, I used the name
Has to be something
generator
fabulous.
and like I found one that I feel like is really good.
Okay, do it.
Tempest Dukes.
Ooh, I love that. Tempest Dukes.
I like that one too because then I mean totally gender neutral on the name and
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Done.
Oh, that
Tempest
is good. Just rolling.
Dukes.
I imagine that in rhinestones on the back of a jacket. Dukes.
Yes. Oh.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm thinking of Parks and Rec as Duke Silver.
Duke Silver. Yes. Just
Even
steal
better.
it all.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And that would be super fun, yeah, if the PCs were staying in a town and then this person rolled in. And maybe since they're, PCs generally have higher stats, they're the only ones immune to this person's charm, or they see this happening and then decide whether maybe to get in on it with this person or to confront them.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, especially if you have an evil party, like that decision of, do I work with them or work against them?
Right.
And
do I take a cut of this? Do I want in? Or do I have to come to heads with this person? Like, this is our evil turf. Get out of here. Or join forces.
Yeah. So kind of with that, then what is the cost of doing business with Tempest Dukes?
Oh, God. That's such a good name.
Yeah.
Let's see. The cost. I think Tempest is all about that money and that status. I think they would probably be someone really interested in knowing, like, staking out that this was their griff, this was my job. And, like, you're allowed into it, but I'm the head honcho.
No, I like the idea of just no matter what you're doing, if you're doing it under me, I need a cut back.
Yeah. I'm 80%, you're 20%.
Oh, yes.
Constantly. Yeah.
So, what are the consequences of crossing them?
Ooh. Somebody who can mess with your mind. Let's see. I think also Tempest would work in subtle ways. So maybe convincing other people or townsfolk to come after the party or the characters, like convincing everybody that they did something wrong or pointing the blame on them.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of potential for betrayal there if you who knows, even if you help them out and it goes well, they might still sick townspeople on you just to get back their cut.
Yeah, even in an evil campaign, turning people that you don't want to do something towards against you. I mean, that's still, I mean, not even, because you can still do that in an evil campaign where it's not even the moral dilemma, it's the practical dilemma of, well, if I kill all these people that are now trying to come after me, I still have way more trouble than I actually want to deal with. So I won't
be able to come back to the city to trade things, or I won't be able to stay here and word will travel.
Ever again. Yes.
You could get a bounty put on your head. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that secrets in, the wrong ears could absolutely destroy or make life very challenging for an evil party.
I like it. I say we do one more.
All right.
So this one's really weird. I mean, because it's two normal words, but I really like it together. So this evil character is going to be named Ashes Fade.
Ooh.
So I mean, I like putting this person definitely in the shadows.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I get a very kind of arcane vibe from that name too. Maybe some kind of warlock or
I was going to lean towards kind of some necromancy, and I was thinking that what if it's a town or an area where cremation is important? Just to set up like that's kind of what they do. Maybe they're on such a limited spot in land, or it's a very swamp-like area, so
or rocky cliffside.
Yeah, conventional cemeteries just don't function the same way, and so then they use cremation, and for some reason all these urns and everything are empty, and you find out that this person has been taking them all.
I love it. Oh, that'd be such a creepy quest to get to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely, imagining having to go after this person and see what exactly they're doing. Some kind of maybe ashes, like constructs, undead. Oh, yeah, lots of potential there.
Yeah, and then it's this big conspiracy, and again, you can easily put it in your evil campaign because then it can be that vie for power of what could this person who's now taken all of these dead and all of these ashes, like what could they possibly be doing?
Yeah. Oh, and they could be doing so many nasty things.
I would, so the idea of what organization are they connected to, I would kind of want this person to be the top of their own kind of...
Like their own cult or something.
Oh.
Yeah, like a cult leader, I think that they're using the ashes to do something horrible. And maybe even at some point it steps itself up, like they are now not content with taking the ashes of the already dead, but convinced that they need to incinerate people for more ashes for this. So it becomes a passive organization that moves into a very active, murderous one. There's also that kind of potential written in there.
So what is the cost of doing business, if anything, with this evil entity?
Ooh.
I mean, we mentioned warlock. I mean, it could be that the idea that this person could be giving things while you then have to give up some piece of yourself
in return.
Yeah, or the final piece of yourself when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm. And your ashes will come to dust. Yes. Oh gosh, I'm just such a creepy RPG confrontation scene is being built in my head. I love this.
Well, and so what are the consequences of crossing them? I mean, that could be the initial catalyst for like this whole thing could be that they've taken the ashes of the fallen people that the party already knows.
Right, or
be
a
it
loved
relatives,
one, or...
be it friends, things like that.
Oh, this would be great too if you had a party member who died and you brought them into a cleric for resurrection, like before the resurrection could happen, the body is taken or something like that. That would be crazy.
Oh, that's good.
Then that puts a time clock on it immediately too, and that's good stuff.
Anything else we might think to add?
I imagine them wearing like a really sweet mask.
Yes.
Oh, what a nasty character.
Well done.
Into it. Very evil. We eviled that evil.
Yes, we did. And their ultimate goal is to rise from the ashes anew. Perfect.
Maybe it's a lich or oh, God. Okay, so much.
Yep. So, but with that, I think we've done it. We've done it once again. So I have the most important question, of course, and that is, where can people go to find us?
Okay, so if you want to tell us more about the evil NPCs you've used in your game, you can go ahead and email us over at dmnastics@gmail.com or find us on Twitter @DM-Nastics. You can also find our personal handles over on there. And also be sure to visit blockpartypodcastnetwork.com to check out all the cool forums and stuff happening over there.
But with that, let's head to the post-workout cooldown and stretch with the light bulb.
Light bulb.
So, today we are going to talk about WizKids miniatures.
Ah, yes.
Basically the new line that they've been putting out both through D&D and Pathfinder, and good on WizKids. They dip into both pots as much as possible. The pre-done ones that they're putting out now are insane, and pretty much you can find any character that you would want. I mean, sure, it's never going to be perfect. That's just the long and the short of it, because we all make amazing, unique characters. But for the game that my wife and some of her coworkers are in, it took me about, 5 or 10 minutes at the friendly local game store, and I had miniatures for all 4 characters already.
Yes.
And so go down, and because it's a fun way to kind of get your players more invested if they can find something that feels more like their character. And it could also be a way that you kind of reverse engineer. Like if you have some first time players, have them go to the game store and look, because it's like half elf druid, gnome druid, dwarf cleric. And so you're getting this physical and visual representation of what your character can be. And it could be a way to build a character kind of backwards. So you start with a perfect mini and build around it rather than the reverse and getting disappointed when they invariably have the wrong weapon or the wrong hair or something like that.
Yeah, and then also with these folks, I was able to check out their booth at PAX East, and they just came out with a bunch of miniatures that go with the Dungeon of the Mad Mage and the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica set. And let me tell you, that pre-painted dragon from the Ravnica set, so the Niz Mezit or whatever, is probably the coolest miniature I've ever seen in my whole life. It's painted beautifully, and it's got just these amazing frills, and like looking at that in the glass case made me almost die on the spot. So that's a testament to the quality of their work. You really should go check out some of the beautiful stuff they do.
Yep.
Oh, they also have a really cool line of just basic animals, which is something you don't see a lot. So things like brown bears, black bears, tigers, things like that to put in your game. And they're just really well done and just excellent miniatures to take a look at.
Yep. So go now to your friendly local game store and buy some super cool miniatures. With that, though, we'll turn out the lights and head out of the gym. But before we go, I want to implore you, the listener, to join the forums and take part in these challenges and exercises, as well as all of the other amazing conversations being had.
To do that, head over to dungeonmasterblock.freeforums.net and try some DM-Nastics so your players don't ask, do you even lift?
Can I trust you'll add your own cardio?
Yeah, no, don't put me down for cardio.
What are you doing?
Horizontal running.